Hello everyone, this is Ajinkya and we have a very special guest with us today. He is an alumnus from Department of Computer Science and he is a social entrepreneur currently working with Microsoft. He has completed his MS from the University of Minnesota and his name is Tushar Garg. So welcome Tushar to our show. So this is all a short interview. I will ask you just a few questions. So you've been around the campus in the last 2 days. How does it feel to come back? I mean, what's your views about the changes, the feelings, the campus again?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and it's a great honor to be back in the campus. It's an absolutely amazing campus. My wife will tell you, she was with me and is accompanying me for the very first time at the campus, that how much I'm in love with the campus and how excited I was looking forward to being on the campus. Just driving down, and the moment you cross that icon, it just feels like you're back home in something which is green and so pure. Mm-hmm. I think we don't realize it very much, that the kind of nature that you have and the experience that we have in 4 years in IIT Guwahati, but when you go back, you miss it very much. It's surreal to be back. The guest house is a wonderful place. So are amazing students.
Yeah. And what about the technique that you had here?
Yeah, that was really cool. I walked down. I've actually never been here. And just to see the sport facilities. I mean, back in our days, we had to go for an hour and a half in the bus to go play sports in city, and just to see all the fields come up here and all the facilities that you guys have, I feel very jealous.
So I mean, so you are here on a Microsoft project, the Bing project. It's a department in Microsoft.
So actually, I work for Microsoft and I work for Bing in Microsoft. I hope you guys use Bing, I am a member of the core ranking team in Bing, where we figured out what, for each query, what is the most relevant documents we want to show. So what is the ranking order that we want to come up with. But here I've taken 2.5 months to 3 months sabbatical from Microsoft. And I'm working here with a member of parliament. It's a non-profit work, which has nothing to do with Microsoft, but they've been very kind to allow me to come and do this.
How does it feel, what drives you back to India again? How does it feel to work here and work with the people again here after being there for 6 years in the US and coming back?
I think that's a very good question. I think this is where it becomes very interesting for me, because I don't really see US and India that differently. Okay. The way I see it is that there's a huge opportunity to do great work in the US, and so is a great opportunity to do great work in India. Mm-hmm. And you've grown up here, so of course you have a lot of love for your country, and you have a lot of passion to come back and give to your society. Mm-hmm. For me, the long-term passion lies still is to come back to India and make a difference to the people's lives in India. And every so often from the US, I feel there's a need for me to keep in touch with those ground realities and keep that understanding of life. So it's been amazing. I've come back and I've gone to the city of Kolkata, which has put me back in Northeast again. Mm-hmm. I still feel the same Assamese, Bengali being close to each other. Reminds me of the 4 years I spent in Guwahati. Yeah. And also reminds me of just the kind of problems as well as the opportunity that exists in India to make a huge difference.
So for a long-term goal, would you like to would you like to come back to India again, maybe after 20 years or 10 years down the lane, forever here?
Yes, I think forever is a big term. I think I would like to come to India for a significant amount of time to make a big difference and do something which is worthwhile. And also, today this is where the word is becoming very, very interesting now, because it's not as separate anymore. It's not something which you have to be a life-changing decision. Opportunities are opening up where you can actually go work in India, you can work in China if you want to. And for me, my interest is to come back eventually look at public policy in India, merging technology and public policy together.
Yeah, so we feel really lucky about ourselves that people like you really care about the country and ready to contribute something on here. So moving on to the next question. So what kind of advice would you like to give to the students who are pursuing for MS or social entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship? So let's start with MS.
So I think all the tracks are wonderful. I think you're just graduating from IIT, so you have a whole life ahead of you. So there's a lot of opportunity no matter which path you take. I would say is that no matter which path you take, you have to be very focused and you want to make contribution and actually do well in the path that you're taking. And also don't tie yourself and marry yourself with that one idea for the rest of your life. I think there is a huge opportunity to look across the board and say, okay, I did this, but what can I do later? So just because you went for an MS and you worked in research for a while, does not mean that you cannot go and work in public policy there.
So application is
So I think application is the thing, so is the research. I think everybody has their own path and destiny. I think the amount of talent that is out here in IIT Guwahati students is just phenomenal, right? And for this kind of talent, you could be doing anything. So, you could be doing into research. So I have friends who I thought would go into business, but today they are PhDs and becoming professors. And their friends, I thought would be doing business, or would be doing PhDs, have ended up quitting their PhDs and doing something very interesting outside. Their friends who sold companies. So I think you will see in 5 years, 6 years from now, people who are pursuing their passion are all making names for themselves in different industries. And we're still young. There will be a lot of opportunities when you look at another 5 or 10 years where the different folks have landed.
Okay. So the thing is like you can just stick to one idea and you just have to keep searching for the opportunities and applying things from the various disciplines and follow your make your own path.
I think do what you're passionate about. I think there's an advantage to everything. So for example, you go to MS and you're thinking about PhD, you're not sure if the PhD is the right thing for you or not. Going to MS will give you that exposure. You'll be able to work with the professor and you will be able to get a sense of do you want to do a PhD or not. Right? Similarly, if you were looking to work in the private sector in India right now, then you will get to learn how the Indian culture is working. So I think do what you're passionate about, do what you think is the right thing. And if you were to work in India, it's not like you're not going to be able to go to MS and vice versa. Some people I'm sure are going for CAT, some people I hear on the campus are also going for UPSC. In my mind, it is amazing to see the variety because that's what makes the whole institute strong. When your people have landed in different places and doing well in different places, that's what expands the horizons of the institute. And I did meet a couple of young people who are doing social entrepreneurship, and I think it's a very low cost, and it's amazing that you're actually pursuing that path. But you have to be clear that you have a right amount of commitment towards it. Otherwise, I think there's also an opportunity to build your career and do a lot of non-profit work on the side and build that career as well. So, take decisions which are well thought of and also decisions that you're passionate about.
That was a good advice. And what is the best part or tradition or an event which you really remember about IIT and you would like to, again, if you have a chance coming back to the campus, you would like to work for that event and all?
Yeah, it's great. Actually, when I came in IT, there's just so many things that IIT Guwahati to participate in. The manpower used to be very less. We were only a batch of 200. Before that, it used to be 100 people. So you could pretty much get in your ticket to do anything you wanted in IIT, and this is just awesome. And I did take the full advantage of that time, and I actually worked in a lot of different disciplines in IIT. But when I look back at it, and in fact, if I look back at my whole life so far, one of the things I remember the most is technique. We were a 4-member core team. Which we worked with a lot of passion to take technique from a smaller event to much bigger at that time. And of course now it's expanded even much beyond what we even ever imagined. And the beauty of that was not only did we do the festival, not only do we remember so fondly, when we look back at the logo today, for example, we remember how it all came about in our time. When we look at some of the brochures and the combination, we remember, this is what happened at that time. But the beauty of it is we build the relationships with the colleagues, which values the most. So when I was in India, just the other day I got a chance to attend the wedding of Muhammad Ali Hadaj, which was one of my friends who was a member of the core committee in Technique, and that was a huge opportunity.
So you had a 4-member committee at your time, and right now we have almost a 50-member committee. Yeah. And do you really think the things like Technique, Alcharinga or other events, that really adds value to what you are today? Or is there any direct implication or application of that work which you have done back then in the college is really helping you right now?
I think so. I think so in many ways. I think if I look at things in my own perspective, I think there are multiple things. One is, it was the first time that I actually independently ran such a big project, right from scratch to the very end. And I think it just gives you a sort of confidence inside you that you can take a problem and you can approach it and you can actually finish the job and get it done. So I think that really gives you the sort of confidence that you need to go do work in the private sector as well and succeed, or in any field of life. Second is, I think it's a very good memory, which ties back to many things. Third is, you fundamentally are working with a lot of people in IIT. And you're working with a lot of people who are very smart. And you really hone your skills to know how to work with the smart people and actually make them do the work so that it all comes together. And that's something that as a program manager at Microsoft right now, I have to do all the time. And Technique is something that, it's very hard to say pinpoint, this is what it did. But overall, it's a very big part of who I am. So, should I add?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, and then other than Technique, I did participate in the Inter-IIT Sports Meet. We were the team which created the first hockey team for IIT Guwahati. And we had a tough time in Inter-IIT, but it was still very worth it. It was a process of creating a team and building the spirit. And of course, who can forget Alcharinga? It's always every IIT lives for that, and I think it was a great time. And in our times, I was in 4th year, I did the security committee in Alcharinga.
Okay.
And we had a huge, one of those Guwahati storms. So it's quite an event that I remember very fondly as well.
So what's the best thing that you remember about Alcharinga?
No, I can't. My wife is right here.
So moving on to our next question. We have heard that you tasted food yesterday back again in the hospital in Manas. And how does it taste? Does it taste the same which was 6 years back, or a bit different now, or something has improved, the quality has improved? Because a lot of guys who are sitting out there would like to know what's the condition of the mess over there.
So So what I'll say is that you guys are very fortunate
Okay.
to have the system to opt out of the messes if you want. I mean, that's something that we didn't have. But having said this, I think there were times where I used to love the dosa and the mess and things like that, which were thoroughly good. But yesterday when I came, it was amazing. Like the onions were cut the exact same way, the lemons were the same, and so was the food. So it was very nostalgic. I really enjoyed it because it was nostalgic. But if I had to eat it every day, I would probably be making the free choice that you guys have right now.
Okay, so the thing is the same. Everybody loves dosa at Saturday and Sunday, and still it's like the food is horrible for the rest of the days. So moving on to the next question, I would like to tell all the viewers that he's a married man now, and his wife is from US. So Tushar, what do you think? I mean, does the IIT tag help you or something else?
No, the funny part is my wife actually did not know that much about IIT.
Okay, that's.
And no, I don't know what helped me. Like that's something that I still wonder. I don't think I deserve that, but she's a wonderful girl, and we like each other, and things just worked out the way it should have.
So I think we should interview her for this. Moving on to the next question. So, how many special tips would you like to give to the students who are just like for first year or second year, all of them, so for carrying out a career or about the future?
I think the one thing which comes up, and I don't know if the students would agree with this, at least in our sense, I think there's a lot of false sense of pride when we enter IIT and we think we've achieved a lot. And which I think in some ways is true, and you should deserve all the praise you get for qualifying and getting to this point in life. But my philosophy since I come out of IIT, and I look back at the years and look at the years I made mistakes in IIT myself, I didn't focus that much on the academics in the first year and a half. And I think when I look back at it, that's not something that I was very proud of. What I want to say to you is, this is one of the 4 years that you're going to be shaping yourself, not just in academics, but in many different things. And you have to think that this is an opportunity that has been given to you, which you could use to do something big in life, and you can be doing this in different domains, but use this as an opportunity. You've just got a ticket, an opportunity to go make a difference, and that's how you should look at it.
So academics plus other activities all put together makes a Tushar Garg. So can you define your life like before IITG and after IITG in like 1 or 2 sentences? Before IIT, let's start with before IIT.
So I think before IIT, it's much like the rest of the IITs. I think just study and try to just crack into the IIT exam. But that was like the 2 years before it. But before that, I used to do a lot of these sports and things. As I grew up, I was very fortunate to have the opportunity. But after coming to IIT, I think one of the things that happens to you is you realize you become humble. I think that's one thing, because you just come and work with so many people who are so talented. And the other thing that happens to you is that you make best of your friends. It's amazing. After 6 years today also, all the core people that I was friends with, we still are managing to be friends, And that's something that really defines you and changes you. And the other major thing I think that happens to you after IIT is you start to develop a belief that you can do something big. I think that's something that truly changes inside you. You start to think that there is a potential in you who can go and achieve something big. And even if you don't get there, I think the journey itself becomes very interesting because you have a sort of confidence within you, which takes you to that point.
So IIT is one of the biggest marks of your life.
I think without a doubt. I think if you look at the friends, if you look at your own confidence, if you look at truly the career opportunities which open for you, as well as the brand image that you get across the world, which is a huge responsibility as well. I think IIT truly defines who you are, and I would just say make the best of the experience. If I could go back through those 4 years again, I would be very happy to go back and again. It's an amazing time.
So how do you like the hospitality by the Alumni Association members over here? Especially Kumar Gaurav.
Yeah, I do want to drop a word for Kumar. I think he's just done a fantastic job. I've just been blown away. And my wife is like, people are calling you sir. This is so exciting. I didn't expect that. He called me by the name, but he's been just super kind, and so have been the other students. And I just had a chance to exchange some thoughts with the computer science students, and they've been really warm. And thanks for you guys for taking the interview. It's just been amazing. So thank you guys.
It's really great meeting you here. Thanks for your time.